subscribe and hit that bell.
Evening, top of the evening, you know the vibes. You're rocking out with yours truly, Showtime Sizzle. I am the sauce. Man, use a nice little thumbnail cover photo tonight. Because shout out to Bud Crawford for taking the high road, in his victory. Hot 97 interview today. Talk about that a little bit. A lot of stuff to really unpack. But with Bud Crawford being so humble and not boisterous with his one-sided victory, I felt the need to, as someone that was, advocating against Team Spence, to be the petty one for him. So today you're going to get some more pettiness, and I think I will continue to be Team Petty as long as I see the activities that are going on social media, especially the reaction that I get. I love to get the reaction from the people that I deem are trolls and things of that nature. And that's you see with the thumbnail picture I used. It's one of those type of nights, right? But let's start off with shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing, right? He sent me something. Health as well. Thirst in the building. Salute to you as well. 100. Just smash that like button for me. But I want to share this audio, right? Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing for this. I retweeted this as well. I'm getting a little more active on Twitter. I had a Twitter account for many years, man. Speaking of many years, salute to the town of Islip, man. I have been a homeowner for 10 years. They are finally paving my block. So now I feel like many of the homeowners in the town of Huntington where I work at, and they talk about, when is my block going to get paved? Well, my block is finally getting paved, And it's a good feeling. I understand that feeling now as a homeowner. Like I said, 10 years though. It took 10 years to, I call the town, being a municipality worker myself. I call and make my complaints. Like, yo, man, it's a pothole. So when you work for a municipality, the protocol, the proper things to say to get things done as far as like potholes and stuff like that. But to see them have an actual paving crew. They ripped the road up. So tomorrow they'll probably be laying it down. Because one thing about these paving outfits, especially the outside contracts that they do, time is money. They get busy. They get to it, man. But yes, I'm active on Twitter as I digress, right? But I'm going to play something from Twitter, right? Twitter is out of control, man. Twitter is it's no filter on Twitter with some of the stuff that people post, right? But this right here, right? Play the audio, man. And they get mad at me, but this is why I kill fans, real talk, of fighters. Because if you are a fan of a fighter and you're this emotionally attached, listen to this, man. This is idol worshiping going wrong. Idol worshiping going wrong.
I ain't gonna hold you. When you lost, it felt like a family member died. And I'm not tripping. Just understand something, Slim. I cried when I seen you lose, Slim. Cause you Earl, Slim. Paul Pierce, little bitch ass talking about you ain't the truth. Man, fuck Paul Pierce. For real. He threw me off. Fuck you mean you ain't the truth? You still the truth in my eyes, son. And I'm gonna tell you like this, Earl. When we get that shit back in blood at 154, watch how all the people be like, oh, yeah, I knew Earl was gonna bounce back. Nah, don't be with us now. Don't be with us now, Slim. When we get that shit back at 154, you bitch ass, man, y'all stay over there. We don't get this shit back, Earl. Earl, I gotta come Texas myself and train with you. So I quit my job right now. Come train with you. Fuck that. Slim, I'll be a fucking man. Look, Slim, I got this technique you ain't never seen, Slim. So the boss, man, I got some shit on my sleeve, Earl. Just call me if you need me. You see what I'm saying?
Oh man, this is the type of time that we are on, right? So evidently that fan, that fanatic, that idol worshiper, that's how he really felt. This is why I do what I do as the source. If I have to be the villain, I have to be the villain. But for reasons like this, right? Instead of being a fan of a fighter, which you are allowed to do, he is an obsessed idol worshiper. Yes, Earl Spence lost. Yes, Earl Spence lost bad. But Earl Spence is a man. Earl Spence is a man, and like Bomac and others have put out there, that was built up, man. You know, when you get the media and you get certain people to, you know, push narratives and portray things, he was built up, man. There was a lot of fluff around Earl Spence. You know, it is what it is. Like, you guys are upset, but it's a lot of fluff around him. This is the man coming into the biggest fight of his career with Terrence Crawford, had only faced 2 other southpaws, 28 fights in. But see, the typical worshiper, and I'm not saying the fan, I'm saying the worshipers, and there's a lot of them on social media. That's why they are like, right now, I'm gonna play some audio of another one that he's cursing his listeners out. You know, and it's good. It's good for me. It's good for others that, you know, we feed off of this because now we have content. Because I'm gonna clown you niggas, straight up and down. I'm going to clown you niggas, right? But Earl Spence is a man at the end of the day. Earl Spence is not a god. Earl Spence is a professional prize fighter that has made it to the highest level. Now, when you make it to the highest level, which we've seen Saturday night, you are going to compete against other guys at the highest level. There is no longer, especially when you're going for everything, for all of the belts, you are no longer going to face a bartender. You are no longer going to face a cab driver. You are no longer going to face a gardener. You're going to face an elite guy. Now, a lot of times, the sport of boxing, you can face these type of guys, and you can be maneuvered with a record surrounding you with these type of guys. But like I said, when you get to that level, that elite level, you are going to run into elite competition. And I think so many YouTubers and content creators placed Earl Spence on such a high elite level and really looked over Terrence Crawford as being as elite that when they actually fought and Terrence Crawford destroyed him, which he did. He destroyed him. You get to watch the replay Saturday night, 9 p.m., followed by the all access, the last all access. But he destroyed him, and he destroyed him rather easy. But me being a reporter, among other things, covering both teams, right? I was on record as to saying that this was going to happen. But like I said, when you know people, and one thing about Earl Spence, he is a popular guy on social media. Because if like people that I talk to in real life that know, you know, but it's like I said, a lot of people on social media, they don't have no clue because they live their life through social media, right? So social media is law. But the ones that know, right? So I was on record to saying that, man, the jig is up, you know. I should have coined that for this fight thing. But you know me, I don't really be caring about shit like that. But the jig was up, right? Because I knew, man, being around Earl Spence for many years, covering him, knowing his trainer, covering them, I just knew, right? But you know what really co-signed it for me? Now being Team Tucker and being in the game and being around some of these guys, right? But as a reporter, I knew when I covered Team Crawford and I interviewed Bomac 4 years ago. And Bomac 4 years ago, as confident as he was last week, he was 4 years ago. And I could recall speaking with him 4 years ago, and they had a game plan then. They had Earl figured out then. Myself, I didn't at the time, right? Because like I said, I don't even think Jihad was signed at the time. But I was still like pretty much a reporter. But I was saying to myself, like, damn, these guys know something that I don't know. But then as I got, more in hands-on, like doing certain little things, team member things, like film study and breaking fighters down, like really studying them, seeing their tendencies, I picked up when I said no wonder. And I wanted Bernie. Last night, I asked in the chat, like, yo, what did you see in Earl that you knew it was going to be so easy, right? But I knew myself, right? I did. I put it out there, right? But I wanted to hear what Bernie seen, because it's always good to get other people's perspectives, especially coaches and team members and guys that strategize. Because it's like, shout out to Bomac for giving Bernie his flowers, because that's what teams do. Bernie might not be in the actual corner for the fight night, but best believe Bernie is a part. Bernie might pick out things that he sees. This is what teams do. If you know, you know. A lot of you guys, like I said, you don't know. You live your life through social media. Pause. But I knew it was going to be easy. And I could recall talking with some of my colleagues as well. And as I started, growing in the sport as a team member and picking up on certain things, I could recall having conversations with guys, coaches, fellow media guys, trainers, teachers, and I always would like, but see, being that my past relationship with Team Spence, it was easy for them to try to make it seem like, oh, I was mad, I was hating, but I will point certain things out that I have learned now, right? And one thing in particular, I will always remember telling guys this, and it played out perfectly this fight week. I was talk about the mitt work, right? Because I see this. I've been seeing this now going on 11 fight camps. I used to see the chemistry with Jihad and Joe Dini and, guys that he works the mitts with. And I picked up on this about 4 years now. Like I said, Jihad is 3 years in. But, I've been involved with him now for about maybe good 4 years, right? So I would pick up on these. I'm like, when I go into my recall, I'm like, man, the way Derek and EJ worked the pads, the chemistry was a little off. It's not really, it's like one thing about you can tell guys that work mitts, right? It's like a band. It's like a symphony, it's a flow. And I told a couple people about this. I was like, yo, the Ugas fight first, Spence punched him in his face. I was like, yo, they're off. They don't, you can tell that their rhythm is not there. Sure enough, this past fight week, media workout, they're doing the mitts. Derek clubs him upside his head. But this has been a pattern. See, me now being who I am, I caught that. I caught it. I caught it. So these are mental notes that I was taking. the other mental notes that I was taking, the fact that, like I said, Earl Spence, 28 fights, only 2 southpaws. Bud Crawford, switch hitter, conventional southpaw. Now, when other reporters that they feel comfortable with talking with would ask Derek James, yo, do you think the switch hitting style of, and he was just so upset and mad. Well, this is a respectable question. You're going to face this man. The fight is signed, still, and delivered. You're not worried about him switching stances. You're not worried about him fighting southpaw, especially southpaw now that we've seen the fight play out. Oh, man, you know him. Okay, cool. Another thing that resonated in me, alarmed off. I don't watch fighting. I don't watch boxing. I don't study. Whoa, okay. So, you don't watch boxing. You don't study boxing until it's time for your fighter to fight. I'm processing all of this. You got a full plate on tap. So now you're going to start watching film of a fighter who now is 40-0. At the time, he was 39-0, 10 straight knockouts. You don't have no intel, no data. You're not getting no data on this man. But yet you're going up against a guy and a staff that has been breaking you down for 4 years. Because I remember I talked to Bomac 4 years ago. I remember that, man. And they was confident 4 years ago. So I was like, you know what? And shout out to WCS, my guy. WCS said it too, that he was going to beat EJ's ass, man. And I put my post out there. And I remember talking to Combat before the fight, me, because that's my guy, man. That's one of my good. And he's an elder. He's a little older than me, right? So I look at him as an elder. You know, he's a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And I remember talking with Combat before the fight aired, and we was like, Combat was like, man, I want Bud to go in there and wreck him. I was like, yo, don't worry, right? And I remember talking to him. I was like, yo, don't worry. I was like, don't worry. I was like, this is gonna be. I didn't say it at the time, but I was like, don't worry, he's gonna humbly beat him up, man. I knew it, right? I knew it, man, because I put my video out. Shout out to me and Coach Reem. We put the video out. What solidified it for me, right? And people get mad at me for saying these things, but this is, listen, man. One thing about me, I'm a professional at a lot of different trades that I do, right? So when I did my video and I said that Earl Spence was going to get beat up, and I knew this when Bomac and his coach went back and forth, and I said the man was incompetent because, respectfully, he's incompetent, man. And I broke this down with my guy today, Scotty, right? World Combat. I was like, that's like me pulling up to a job, and they telling me what the requirements of the job require, and they like, yo, man, it's a heavy load. You're gonna need to dig it out. I recommend you bring the loader through. And I'm like, all right, I got you. Don't worry about it. I show up with a hand crew and shovels. I'm incompetent because the person who contracted the job out to me already told me the equipment that I needed. But me being incompetent, I pulled up with a hand crew and a bunch of shovels. But they told me I was going to need a loader. So why didn't I go over there with a loader? Because I'm incompetent. Break it down to boxing now. Bomac said, you can't hide no more. When he said that, the Team Tucker media marketing agent, guy that has been involved with a fighter now for 11 fight camps, kicked in. I said, oh, man, they know that this guy has been all on social media talking about he doesn't watch film. He ain't for nobody. I said, oh, man, EJ is about to get his ass whooped. Not only has EJ fell victim, but the captain of the ship, the trainer, the guy who is responsible for preparing him for this battle, this epic battle, is an incompetent, respectful asshole, man. Not only did he sleep on Terrence, he slept on the guys that are getting Terrence ready, but he didn't because he was nervous. He said, it's three of y'all. It's three of y'all. I'll compete against me. You damn sure did compete against you. And you led your fighter to get slaughtered. And it has been a trickle-down effect now because from your fighter getting slaughtered, which he got slaughtered, man, he was not a sheep. I mean, he was not a shark, but more of a man. He was a sheep. He was a sheep. You know, Bud Crawford slaughtered a sheep. You know, he had the fishing net and all that, but what he pulled up out that ocean was not a shark, was not the biggest. It was a sheep. And we had curry goat, because EJ's Jamaican, right, Wagwan? He wanted to have smoke a butt pack. No, you was the curry goat that night. You was the curry goat. And that's what we got to see because your coach did not prepare you. And social media, till to this day right now, is not only in shock, but the idol worshipers of Spence are lost because a lot of you guys' narratives do not add up. If this man was so well prepared, doing all of these things that you said he was doing, why the hell the Tuesday morning, he's up there in Mount Charleston or Mount Charles in Vegas. If you ever been to Vegas, you know what I'm talking about. He was up in the mountains. He was up in the mountains. So when I say his coach was unprepared, and you guys get mad at me, but listen, man, I'm a professional. That's why I had to break it down to you so you can understand. That's like me, somebody contracting a job out to me, telling me what it's going to require for the job to get done. Instead of me pulling up with a loader and heavy equipment, I'll pull up with a hand crew with a bunch of shovels. That is not proper preparation. And that's what we seen take place last Saturday night. They knew goddamn well this man was dangerous. Not only was he dangerous, he was probably the best fighter that Earl has ever faced, let alone the best southpaw, and he only has faced two. He only has faced two. Salute to Team Crawford in the building right here, Stone Bone. Yo, Stone Bone, man. Thank you for putting me on because it was so easy for me to make my call. That Omaha juke hook, they watched the breakdown, right? I told y'all, and that's why I made the videos. The content is looking very good. Bomac, in between rounds, basically told Terrence to start throwing the hook. That was the juke hook, and you seen it. It rattled EJ's brains. I got a video out right now, and shout out to WCS for breaking it down too, where Terrence Crawford, you know, they mastered you already, Earl. You was going to come out stepping, and you stepped right into that trap when Bud was on the ropes, and he caught you inside with a sweet uppercut off the back foot, the back pedal, the back, you know, the back pole. He was backing up, and you was confident coming in. And if you and the refresh y'all, not refresh the super chat, but refresh y'all. He walked into that same uppercut the same way he walked into that counter on the pads with Derrick James. But see, if you're not a team member or you're a casual or you're somebody that doesn't watch boxing, you would have never picked up on that. But I told y'all that these things was going to happen. And if it did not happen Saturday night, hey, what do I know? Too bad Coach Reen is next door swimming because I would have her in here to say the famous song. What do we know? Well, we knew Mr. Magoo, a.k.a. Earl Spence, was going to walk into a whole bunch of heat. And I told y'all this. But to see a lot of you guys on social media with these excuses, with these false narratives, like this brother, man, he's from Maryland too. I know I have family in Maryland. I can tell all from the accent and the slang and all that. He's from Maryland. This brother wants to quit his job. Idol worship and going wrong. Don't quit your job, brother, because you could quit your job and, like you said in this, go down there, give you guys a good laugh. Look, you could go down there and
Earl, Slim, I ain't gonna hold you. When you lost, it felt like a family member died, and I'm not tripping. Just understand something, Slim. I cried when I seen you lose, Slim. Cause you Earl, Slim. Paul Pierce, little bitch ass talking about Joy the Truth. Man, fuck Paul Pierce. For real. He threw me off. Fuck he made.
man, he said he threw him off. But look, this
You ain't the truth. You still the truth in my eyes, son. And I'm gonna tell you like this, Earl. I'm gonna tell you like this. When we get that shit back in blood at 154, watch how all the people be like, oh, yeah, I knew Earl was gonna bounce back. Nah, don't be with us now. Don't be with us now, Slim. Cause when we get that shit back at 154, you bitch ass, man, y'all stay over there. We gonna get this shit back, Earl. Earl, I gotta come to Texas myself and train with you. So I quit my job right now. Come train with you. Fuck that. Slim, I'll be a fucking man. Look, Slim, I got this technique you ain't never seen, Slim. So the Bob, man, I got some shit on my sleeve, Earl. Just call me if you need me. You see what I'm saying?
sad, man. Sad. Idol worshiping going wrong. You got a technique that nobody never seen. Well, maybe give it to somebody out there in Maryland. Because you can give Earl whatever technique you want to give him. 154 is going to be worse. He's not going to get nothing back in blood. He might give out more blood. Because, and I got to say this respectfully. My guy, Bernie's doing what he got to do. But Bernie knows goddamn well that if they fight again, ain't nothing going to change. Because there's a saying, right? When somebody has your number, they have your number. And I think Earl knew this. And I'm going to tell you how Earl told on himself, right? He never was confident in facing Terrence Crawford. But he got caught up into, his fellow worshipers, people like this and others that, put the helium in them, hot air, filled them up. But to be honest with you, he talked a good one. He sold some wolf tickets. But he was never confident. And I'm going to tell you how he was never confident. The day before the fight, they had the ceremonial weigh-in. Terrence Crawford was what the young boys like to say. I rock with the young boys. Probably head down to the gym in a little bit. What the young boys call demon time. Terrence Crawford was on demon time. Remember when he hit the table, he was like, let's get active, right? He was on demon time, right? They was locked in. EJ showed weakness. Watch American Me. If you watch American Me, that's one of my classic movies, right? They always talk about don't show weakness. He showed weakness. And I'm going to tell you how he showed weakness, right? He wanted, and it worked, man. Smart play by him. And I'm going to get to that too. He showed weakness, right? They are going to fight. It's signed, sealed, and delivered, right? He wanted Bud to know that he made the fight happen. I was like, all right, you've been saying that. Who cares? But the weakness was right here. Some of you guys reported on it. A lot of you guys didn't because you guys wait for somebody like myself or others to tip you off. The man said, and we're going to make bank. You're going to make bank regardless. But now you trying to let this man know that y'all getting money together. Please don't whoop my ass. And I think Bud took heed of that because Bud did carry you. I can't wait to watch it again. I've been watching it on YouTube, but it's nothing better than watching it on Showtime. I'm probably going to DVR it this time too. Because that ass whooping that he put on you, man. And the people are mad at me, right? But like I said, don't be mad at me. Be mad at him. Be mad at those that lied on me. And be mad at his coach. Be mad at the people that surround him. Because you can't be mad at me. I'm not Team Crawford. Jihad didn't whoop his ass. Terrence whooped his ass. I just happen to be cool with people from Team Crawford. But the fighting team that I'm a part of, didn't beat him up. Jihad didn't beat him up. We wanted to spar with him and get him ready, but we didn't beat him up. Terrence beat him up. His coach beat him up, and he beat himself up. So if you're going to blame anybody, blame those three. But you can't even blame Terrence. And I'm going to tell you why you can't blame Terrence. Terrence is in the hurt business. Terrence knows what he signs up for. When you get in that ring, it's the hurt business. It's never personal. It's the hurt business. But you can be mad at yourself, Earl. Take accountability. And you can be mad at your coach. Number one, for not preparing you. And for number two, the utmost important one, not protecting you from yourself. Shout out to Harvey Doc for doing that. Because I watched your coach, who I said was incompetent, and look how this all ties into him being incompetent. Not only was he incompetent on preparing you, he was incompetent on saving you from yourself. Saving you from yourself. And that is the trainer's job. Because you would have went out on your shield. You would have went out there and just got more and more disfigured. Because you had no chance of winning the fight. By the time the fight got stopped, when you watch the last flurry of punches that he threw, those 3 jabs, everybody's talking about Clarissa Shields and Keith Thurman fighting. Clarissa Shields probably could have walked through those jabs, man. Pause. He had nothing on them. He was just, and I said this respectfully, he was fighting like a professional crackhead. He was done. Terrence had took everything. Yo, listen, respectfully, Terrence did to him everything that he talked about doing. Terrence broke his will, broke him mentally, physically, and spiritually. If anybody was Toby, formerly Kunta Kinte, it was him. It was him. The man, but like I said, man, shout out to Bud for having that compassion. Having that compassion. And shout out to Bud for even having more class by giving him his belts back. And I want you to pay attention to the embrace between Earl and Bud was a true warrior embrace. The embrace between Bud and the 2 team members, fake as fuck, respectfully. Because he got from Derrick James and the other guy, who I'm not even going to name, right? You're the other guy now, right? There was no real mutual respect there. But from Earl, and it was like I said, the humbling ass whooping, the mutual respect was there because he got humbled. He got his brains beat in. He got his eyes swollen up. He got his nose busted up. He got his lip busted up. He got his teeth knocked out from a man that he disrespected. But like that man said, he was going to show him. Like, you got to show me now. Get out of line. You got out of line with your mouth. You tried to get out of line in that ring. And in the second round, you quickly found out that getting out of line got you fucked up. Pause. Respectfully. I am going to close on this. Salute to Stone Bone for stopping through and educating me on the Omaha Juke Hook. That's why I was able to make my assessments that this was going to be a easy, yes, E-A-S-Y, easy walk in the park for Terrence. Because now, as the media marketing agent for Jihad Tucker and also a green level coach, studying film tendencies and breaking down fighters, I knew that when Bud Crawford came out fighting in the southpaw stance, Earl Spence was in trouble because now, being a conventional fighter, which Bud Crawford is by trade, fighting out of the southpaw stance with his power hand as his lead hand the jab. Are you following this? That he was going to not only control the pace, dictate the pace, and push the pace. And then when instructed to from a man that was properly prepared, Brian McIntyre, to start throwing the hook. He's slow as shit. Come over the top with the jab. What in the slow, stiff Spence is going on? So it was just a matter of time. And that's what we see. Hopefully you caught and enjoyed this sauce. If not, I don't care. Because you know why? I am winning. I am winning in life. I am winning on social media. A lot of you social media guys are upset and mad. Me, I collected ends. I will continue to collect ends. I will continue to call fights. If I'm wrong or if I'm right, it is what it is. But a lot of you guys were so wrong, and you were so wrong in your world, your social media world. You know what you need to do? Delete your account. Delete yourself. You know? Delete yourself. Respectfully. Delete yourself. Be like a lot of the people that sit around and watch people build things and grow and surpass them, right? Delete yourself. For real, delete yourself. I'm going to give you some gems before I go. Be like this.
I take my shit and strive, nigga. I'm a man at the end of the day, nigga.
That's real.
Niggas don't owe me nothing. I don't owe niggas nothing.
You right?
We got friends out here this day that don't post shit. How many friends you know never post nothing you did, nigga? That you grow with.
A lot.
Thank you. I got the same shit. I got a friend with that right now. Don't do shit. I'm taking them niggas with me. Hell no. You gonna stay right there, nigga, when I go. You don't show the same love I show niggas. I show everybody love. Like, you supposed to show that back. Niggas be on your page. Niggas won't like your shit. Why follow me?
You right.
You'll stroll right past a nigga page. You'll look at it and won't like it. Why are you here? Why are you here?
Talk to him.
Delete yourself, nigga. Why are you here? Bitches too, why y'all here, man? Delete yourself. Why are you here?
That's fire.
Delete yourself. It don't make sense, son. It's just crazy. And niggas will be looking at you like you wrong when you get on and leave, niggas too.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, right.
They'll be looking at you like you did something wrong. No, nigga, you did something wrong. You ain't support me, nigga.
You ain't do shit.
Yes, this is the Sauce Talk with Keyshawn Davis.
The Sauce Talk, okay.
First off,
Hey guys, this is Tiana Tumo-Helora. I'm a top-ranked knockout, and I want to give a shout out to Sauce Talk Podcast.
thank you. You know the vibes.